Hi guys, good morning and welcome to my podcast. My name is Mandy and you can find me on the internet as Mandy Von Knits on Instagram and Ravelry. I am a 39-year-old woman. I'm coming to you from southeastern Michigan. I live here with my husband and my 2 kiddos, and I love to knit and crochet. I love to make sweaters, I love to make garments, and I love to talk about it and share it with you guys. So if that sounds like something that's interesting to you, please stick around. I would love to have you. I have quite a bit to talk about today, so let's start with admin. On this podcast, I give away a digital prize pattern every week, and the way that you enter, you just leave a comment down below, come back the next week, and see if you won. I will generally the Sunday before, so I release a video every Tuesday, and the Sunday before at around noon, I will go to the random comment picker and put the link in, press the button, and it spits out a winner. So, technology, right? That's pretty much it. The only rules are that the pattern price has to be 15 USD or under, and you can only win once a month just to kind of make it even and fair for everybody. Okay, so I am going to leave a blank spot right here. And if that was you, please reach out to me on either Instagram or Ravelry as Mandy Von Knits. Let me know what pattern price that you want. And if I don't have your Ravelry name or I don't know it, let me know that too so I can gift it to you. If you don't use Ravelry, let me know that as well, and we can figure out a different solution. I know that there are different payment platforms that are available for patterns. Okay, so with all of that said, if you want to enter for next week's giveaway, just leave a comment down below. Okay, what should I talk about first? So, my hair's getting in my way. Sorry. My last podcast, I was using the circular knitting hat machine, and I did some more of that. So I will show you guys those hats that I made first, and I did use the Lion brand Landscape Breeze. So I actually cranked them, and you know, if you've ever used one of those circular hat machines before, I have the Addy King, so it has, I believe, 46 needles, and I've noticed something. And I've noticed this about pretty much all of the knitting machines, even my flatbed one. Sometimes you can get into a rhythm and everything goes right. Just everything. And then sometimes, like, just you woke up on the wrong side of the knitting machine bed, I guess, and things just aren't gonna work. I've noticed this about certain yarns that I'll use, and I can have 3 skeins. So I had 3 skeins of the Lion brand Landscapes, and I worked up 3 hats with them, and 2 of them worked up no problem, and 1 of them was like pulling teeth. So this is the first one that I made, and this one I didn't have much of a problem with. And you can see they're pretty small, so those skeins were 90 grams. And these hats my daughter can fit them, but I would say they're smaller, probably like elementary school, kindergarten size type hats. Toddlers would work fine with them. But I think that they worked out they're very pretty. I love this yarn. I think it's gorgeous. And these are double-sided. They're double thick. So basically, if you are familiar with the Musselburgh, it is like the Musselburgh pattern, but with no decreases. You basically just pull and then cinch the hat up. So if you did feel like working decreases, you could just take it off and then work them by hand. But that is the first one, and this worked out pretty well. I did notice that some of the yarn would kind of catch, and that didn't bother me as much, except on the third one, and we'll talk about that in a second. Now, this is the second one, and this one worked up looser. So I don't know if my gauge, well, obviously it must have. I think after the first one, I stopped holding the yarn as tightly, because even though the knitting machine has the tensioner, I will hold the yarn by hand so I can tension the yarn myself. So this is the second one, and this one worked up, I think that this one worked up the best. And I love these blue colors. So like I said, this was Lion Brand. Wow, I threw up a whole bunch of words and kind of combined them all. This is the yarn. It is Landscape Breeze by Lion Brand. And I believe this one was called Bay. So it has some nice blues there. Now this one did not work up well. So I worked this up about 5 times because stitches kept catching, and I'm like, okay, I miss a stitch or two as I'm going around. That's fine. I can just drop it down and fix it. And then it got to the point where, wow, I'm going to have to drop down and fix the whole hat. So I would take the hat off, pull it all out, rework it. The same thing would happen. This happened about 4 times. Finally, I just kept working around in a circle. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to have to drop down and fix all of these columns. That's fine. I want to get the hat done. So this is what I ended up with, and I love the color, and it's stretchy. I think that the first one was the tightest gauge that I worked. This one is nice and stretchy, but if you look closely, you can see I had to drop down some columns, like about probably 20 of them. So I still need to block it to get the kind of the unevenness from dropping down like 100 rows. But I used a crochet hook, and it was all good, and it's still faster than working it by hand. But I mean, like I said, some of the yarns you work on a knitting machine, just they're not having it. So I did say that I would work these up and show you guys what the yarn looked like worked up. So that is what it looks like knitted. And I mean, I love this. This is really pretty. This would make like a gorgeous sweater or more hats. But yeah, I don't have any more of the Landscape Breeze, but if you guys do, definitely think about knitting it into hats because they turn out really cute. Okay, I have a knitted finished object that I hand knit, and I did not grab the other 2, but you guys have seen them, so it's okay. You don't have to see all 3 of them together, but maybe I'll take some pictures of all 3 of them and then show you guys next week. But I finished my 3rd Cowltopus, and this is the last Cowltopus, but I wanted to show you how this one came out. So here we go. This is long, guys. I have to like stretch my arm all the way up here. But this is the brioche, and this is what she calls the brioche wave stitch. And this is where the third clue starts right here. So this is the brioche, and then that's the third clue, the fourth clue, and then up here is the hood. And this is just the third one. You guys have heard so much about the Cowltopus. I kind of don't want to go into too much detail, but I did use Emma's yarn, and there was a Cowltopus kit from, I believe, 4 Pearls, the yarn store, and I bought 3 of them because I wanted to work them up, and they had 3 different kits, I believe. So I bought 3 of them, and I knew that they were going to go to other people, so I didn't, as a gift, so I didn't have any trouble kind of deciding. I just got one of each color, and then knew that they would not be in stash for very long. This is a DK weight yarn pattern, and it is from Laura Nelkin. It was a mystery knit along, and it was very popular, and my mother-in-law had reached out to me earlier in the year, and she sent me a reel that Laura Nelkin had done, and she asked me if I could make it, and I had told her yeah, because I didn't know what was involved, but I consider myself an okay enough knitter to kind of be able to tackle things even if I don't understand them. Do you guys understand what I mean when I say that? Not that I think I can do everything, but like if I sit down and I try, I can probably figure it out or come up with a reasonable solution to get to the point where I can figure something out. I hope you understand what I mean there. But so once I realized there was brioche in here, and it was my goal for the beginning of the year. I had 2 knitting goals this year. One was to get better at brioche, and one was to get better at color work. So it kind of all worked out. I worked on my brioche for a little bit, and then I went straight into doing 3 of them. And I think, that they turned out pretty well. I'm excited. I'm excited to send them along, and I'm excited to kind of move on to the next thing. I do have plans, and I shared one with you guys last week, and that was the Zelda sweater. So I do have that on cue. And I also have a cardigan for my daughter, and I'm going to talk about that in a little bit because I've gone back and forth. I'm just going to talk for a couple of minutes because I want to explain what I'm thinking here. So we're just going to jump around. This is the cardigan that I want to knit my daughter. Now this is called the Montrose, or the Junior Montrose cardigan. And this is adorable. I love this. And do you guys remember the Plymouth Encore that I showed you last week? The light pink color. I am going to use the Plymouth Encore for this cardigan. And it's the right weight. We're good. So I'm super excited about that. But I have wanted to knit both my Zelda sweater and the catnip pullover next. And in my head, I'm thinking, okay, I'm working on Shetland Skies. So I don't want to cast on any more color work until I'm farther into that. If you guys have seen previous episodes, the Shetland Skies is a poncho, and I am about, I think, a third of the way through it, but I really want to get to almost done before I start working the color work sleeves of the Zelda pullover. So what I was kind of coming to the conclusion of is that I'm not going to have any easy knitting. And easy is kind of the wrong word. What do I mean? I mean color work knitting, where I have to like carry around 8 different colors. That's what I mean. So I figured that casting this one on and being able to have a travel project is a good idea. So this I am probably going to cast on this upcoming week. At least that's what I'm thinking. So that way I will have on my needles the Vertices Unite, this, and then Shetland Skies. And I will be working on the Shetland Skies until I get farther through to where I can cast on my Zelda pullover. And that's what's gonna happen. Did you guys follow all of that? I hope you did, because I don't know if I can explain it again. Because I'm not even sure I follow my train of thought here. But let's go on to the next thing. So naturally, I am in the middle of a short row. Of course, why wouldn't I be? So I am going to talk about this next item kind of as I move my stitches onto the needle. I'm going to pass stitches from one needle to the other needle so that I can show you guys a little bit better. But this is the Vertices Unite, and I have been working on this as kind of a make-along for a podcast that I watch. I watch PJ Knits, and Penny has been hosting a Vertices Unite, basically a Unite Cal, and I believe it's Vertices Unite and Textures Unite and all of Stephen West's basically Unite patterns. And I have been loving this. It's so good for just easier knitting, but it's not very travel friendly right now, and I will show you why. Because it is very big, and we've got a lot of stuff going on here, but most importantly, we have the last section almost done. Do you see the light pink here? So I have just a couple of more short rows till this is done, and the last thing I have to do is the border. And I know that made it sound like it's an easy thing. It's just a border, right? But it's an I-cord border, and it's around this whole thing, or at least I'm pretty sure it's around this whole thing. Look, I popped stitches off on this side now, so I'm going to talk some more. I'm not sure, well, I would imagine it has to be. I should probably look, well, I have kind of been avoiding looking at what the border entails until I am done with section 6 because I have heard horror stories about his bind-offs and borders and things like that and how long they take. So that is why I haven't looked. But this is what we've got here. And I wouldn't call myself a shawl knitter because I am first and foremost kind of just a garment knitter. I really love to make sweaters and garments, but I'm very much enjoying this. And you can see all of my waste yarn. Don't worry, hopefully next week I'll be able to get all of that kind of taken care of. Well, maybe that's a little bit optimistic, but it will be tied up pretty soon. Now this shawl is done in fingering weight yarn. It is a pattern by Stephen West, if I haven't said that. And it is garter stitch, so it's super squishy. I love it. I did the large size, so there are 2 sizes to this pattern, small and large. I definitely went for the large size. I am using Mouse Witch yarns. This is a kit, words, not a kit. This is a set called the Sugar Plum set. And it's just a bunch of really pretty purples and a cream and a gray, and they all match together really nicely. So I've been having so much fun, loads of fun working on this, and I'm excited to kind of see well, I know what shawl I want to work on next, but I'm excited to kind of work on the next one. But anyways, I don't know, that's like the bulk of the knitting that I've been doing, besides dreaming about knitting and dreaming about like the knitting I want to start on and work with. And let me see if I have, yes I do. This is the color of the Montrose cardigan. If you guys didn't watch last week, this is the color that I'm picking. So this will be cast on pretty soon here. Now this is from Coco Amore Knitwear, and when I saw this pattern I really liked it. It is an oversized cardigan. Now this is the children's version, and I believe there's an adult version, but the reason I picked the children's version, and it says it only goes to I think size 7, but the cardigan itself is very oversized. So even when I looked at the fact that it says it only goes up to size 7, it was going to fit her fine. So I knew that, yeah, it says it only goes up to 7 years with actual chest circumferences of the 7-year size would be 66 centimeters. And the chest circumference of finished garment is 88 centimeters. So that's a pretty big difference between the actual chest circumference and then the finished size of the garment circumference. I'm so excited for this, but okay. I wanted to share with you guys some things. So what do I want to talk about first? I wanted to show you guys a couple of things that I grabbed from my stash. So I grabbed some yarn that I wanted to show you. And this is kind of something that I've thought about doing for a little bit. I wanted to grab different yarns from my stash and just talk about them. Talk about why I bought them, or what kind of purpose that they'd have, or I don't know, my thoughts on them, and just show you guys the yarn so you can see. I enjoy looking at different types of yarn, so I don't know if you guys do too, but it's always been something that's made me happy. And I've also picked out a couple of patterns that I wanted to talk about because I ran across a mystery, well, it's not a mystery, it's a knit along and a crochet along, and it's this beautiful wrap, and both patterns for knit and crochet are very similar, so I wanted to share those with you too. But I also have a couple of bags, and I got them from Hobbii. Do you guys know about Hobbii? They are a yarn company in Denmark, I believe, and they have some really cool things. So I have a bag that I wanted to show you, and I'm gonna show it to you guys now instead of just talk about it. So let me start with the tote bags. So I love cats. Do you guys like cats? If you're more of a dog person, they actually have dog ones too. I was looking at them as well, but I love cats. So this is what I got from Hobbii, and this is adorable. Now, this one is a drawstring bag, and it just closes. It's just a drawstring bag, and yeah, it just says bag on it. I can't remember how much it was, but I'm thinking like $3. So there's that one, and then there's this one, which is great. So this is a smaller bag that I would use to put inside a larger bag if I wanted to kind of section something off. And this is a larger bag. This is a tote bag, and I got it because it had the cat on it. And these handles come in handy for me because I am a wheelchair user, and it's much better for me if my bags have handles, so I can put them on the back of my wheelchair and stuff like that. A little bit easier to kind of carry them around. But I loved the design, and it's just an inexpensive tote bag, and I love having them to carry my projects, especially if I go like into the hospital. I don't have to worry about getting a more expensive bag dirty and things like that. If I go to a doctor's appointment, they're very easy to kind of just take and go to the beach. I mean, you can just throw these in the washer, I'm sure. And if anything happens to them, they were $3-4, somewhere in that range. So it's, I mean, obviously you don't want to ruin something that you bought, but it's a lot better to ruin a bag that is at that price than one you spent a lot more on that somebody might have handmade or handcrafted. So this is actually what I wanted to show you. And this came from Hobbii as well. Now, this is a canvas bag, and I bought this, it was on sale, and this actually has a little strap to go with it, so that's pretty neat. And it's useful for me because I really appreciate the straps to hold things. And it is just this clear pink bag, and it has a smaller bag inside that you can unclip. And I believe this was about $30, and that was on sale. So I got it because I have seen these types of bags before, and I've never had one. So I was interested to see how they, how they perform, if I liked using them, if I just liked the style. I love how big it is. It's a very big bag. So this might work really well for my Zelda sweater to kind of keep everything in one spot, because I'll have a bunch of different yarns. Or I could use this for the Shetland Skies, and I could probably fit all 3 of those Holst cones in here. So that's definitely a good size bag. But it has this snap as well. Ooh, and it's a magnetic snap, and I like that. So yeah, it's just from Hobbii. And like I said, I spent I spent about $30 on it. Does it say anything about wash instructions? It says 100% polyamide, cleaning with damp cloth. Okay, so this is not something you want to throw in the washing machine, obviously. They just want you to clean it with a damp cloth. So no beach time for this. But I love the color, and I think that they had one in green. I kind of went down a rabbit hole because I had read on the internet that they were going to stop making these, and they were kind of clearancing them out. So I wanted to get one before they did. And that was a little bit ago. I don't know if they still have them on their website. I think they do. So, but I really did like the cat bags. Okay, that's that. I just wanted to show you guys those bags. Now, let's talk about some patterns because I printed out a couple of them. And the first one is by Valentina Bogdanova. And let me show you. It's called the Constance blouse. And I'm a big fan of her patterns because of the neckline. I'm wondering if one of these pictures is going to show it. I think the top one shows it probably the best. Yeah, right there. Do you see how it's different? It's almost like it ties and you kind of can cinch it. Let me see. Here it is. This one right here. You can see how it's untied there. But she has a bunch of different patterns and they all have very, very pretty necks. Not your standard kind of ribbing, and there's nothing wrong with just having a standard neck, but it's fun to see unique neck constructions. Now, this is in DK weight yarn, so it says that the yarn she uses yarn held together, lace plus lace equals DK. So the gauge is 22 stitches and 28 rows equal 4 inches in stockinette. So you could definitely just use a DK weight yarn. It sounds like she's knitting 2 strands of lace together, but she's knitting it at probably the lace is more fluffy, so she's able to knit it at a larger gauge. But it says, the Constance blouse is a soft and airy knit with a vintage touch, perfect for anyone who loves a bit of old-fashioned charm. Inspired by romantic Victorian styles, it features delicate lace details, a flattering neckline with a simple tie, and a light, effortless feel. Knit seamlessly from the top down, this blouse is made by holding 1 strand of lace yarn and 1 strand of mohair together, creating a cozy yet lightweight fabric with a soft halo. Okay, so yeah. And I thought that was very pretty, so I just wanted to talk about it kind of quickly to show you guys. Let's see what else I found. Oh, I love this one. So I bought this one, and I bought this one because it is a crochet top, and it is just so cute. So when I started crocheting, story time I guess, when I started crocheting, I was not able to find just cuter crochet garments. And I don't mean that as to offend anyone. It's just that when I first started to crochet, people weren't making as many crochet garments. It seems like in the last decade, crochet garments have taken off, and there are just so many beautiful and cute designs, and I ran across this one and I thought, oh, I want to make this. It is just adorable. This is called the Carousel top, and it is by Jessica B. Herr, and it comes in sizes extra small to 5XL. So this is actually done in fingering weight yarn, but do you see how cute those sleeves are? This is just adorable. I love this, and when I was looking at this, I had to do a double take because it doesn't look crochet to me. It's just the cutest top. So I definitely wanted to make it, and I love seeing how crochet patterns have changed so much. And it's just, there are so many cool options. So it says, looking for a fluttery feminine summer top that's just as fun to crochet as it is to wear? The Carousel top is here to spin its way into your wardrobe. It features a soft V-neck with a flattering shape, dainty button up front, customized with your favorite buttons, whimsical flutter sleeves that add movement, a light breathable fabric. It says it's perfect for confident beginners to intermediate crocheters. So that's exciting, and the pattern has a tech editor as well. So if that's something that is a must-have for you, then this pattern definitely has tech editing, and it's also been tested. So it says it's been graded using CYC standard measurements. Oh, I like, it's been so long since I've done a crochet garment that this one made me super excited to see. And I love those sleeves. I love them. Okay, on to the next one, guys. So this one I ran across, and this is called Apple Pie Top My Size. So there are two of these patterns. There is one for kids and there is one for adults. I'm showing you the one for kids, or no, for adults, but the one for children is just smaller, basically. So this is knit and fingering weight yarn. It has 7 sizes. The languages are English and Korean. And it says it's bottom up, short sleeved, worked seamlessly up to the armholes, and then divided for the front and back. So it has shoulder shaping. Let me see. I thought that the design on this shirt was so pretty, and it looks so intricate and fun for me. Like, this seems like a very fun pattern. It says, let's see, I'm trying to, okay, I'll go through the tags because sometimes that'll kind of help sum up what the pattern is all about. It bottom up, cables, chart, eyelets, in the round, lace, seamed, seamless, short rows. So it says it has a 3 needle bind off. Join the pieces after shaping the shoulders, the pieces are joined at the shoulders. The design features a combination of cross stitches and lace patterns that resemble apple pie. I just thought that this one was pretty. Okay, moving on here. This one is free. Now, this was sent to me through an email from Barocco. Now, the reason that this caught my eye is because it is knit in the suggested yarn Barocco Remix Light, and I have some of that. So I thought that this might be a good pattern to work it up in. This is called Petra by Alison Green. So this is a knit pattern, and it is just a kind of cropped. And I wouldn't do the cropped, I don't believe. I would probably make it a little longer, but I think that it's so pretty. And a good idea to use that Remix Light on. So the bust sizes is from 32.5 to 68.5. And you need between 900-ish to 2200-ish yards. And the Barocco Remix Light is knit in its DK weight. So it says the Petra cardigan knit with Barocco Remix Light yarn combines softness and durability with an eco-friendly twist, offering a timeless piece that's both comfortable and stylish, perfect for layering. It's knit in one piece from the top down, offering a fun, seamless project. So this seems like one piece from the top down. That seems like a pretty straightforward project. A straightforward project and a really cute cardigan. So I would consider this one like a wardrobe staple, right? So if you're looking for something that, I'm trying to think of what I'm trying to say here. If you're looking for something to work up some yarn that you really like, and you want to turn it into like a wardrobe staple, and it's DK weight yarn, you might want to check out this one. And it is a free pattern, so that's another bonus. You could try it out, knit up some of it, see if you like how it's going, and then just take it out if it's not working out. That pattern is from Alison Green, so I saw it, and when it came up in my email, I was really excited because like I said, I do have some of the Remix Light, and I would like to find something fun to knit it up with. So, okay, this is the knit along, crochet along, craft along. Knit along, make along, that's a word. This is the make along that I was talking about earlier. So this is the knit version, and this is from Janica York Carter, and I hope I'm pronouncing that right, but this says the pattern is free for a limited time, and this is the knit version. And the crochet version, which I will show you in a second, is very similar. It says, we're having a summer 2025 choose your own adventure knit along on Ravelry. And on the pattern page, you can click to learn more about what the choose your own adventure is about. So let me show you the crochet version, because it is pretty similar. And that's why I like it, right? Because you have two of these wraps, one knit and one crochet, and they're super close. So you have knitters and crocheters working on items that are very similar, and it's just kind of a good community thing to do. So this one's the crochet pattern by the same designer. And this one says, this pattern is free for a limited time as well. It says we're having a summer 2025 choose your own adventure crochet along on Ravelry. So like I said, they're having a choose your own adventure knit along and a choose your own adventure crochet along. And the pattern uses light fingering for both, I believe. Let me double check the other one. No, the knit one uses sport and the crochet uses light fingering, but they both work up in a gauge of 23 stitches and oh, interesting. So the knit along gauge is 23 stitches to 32 rows is 4 inches. And the crochet along is 23 stitches and 12 rows equal 4 inches. So you can definitely tell the difference in row height there. But they both make a wrap of approximately 120 inches by 20 and a half inches. That is for the crochet along. The cowl for the crochet along is 60 inches by 20 and a half inches. And on the knit along, the wrap is approximately 80 inches by 20 inches. And the cowl is 40 inches by 20 inches. So if you want to try like a choose your own adventure, that would be a cool one to look at. But that would be it for the patterns. I just kind of wanted to highlight those. When I was running, gosh, it's cold. When I was running through Ravelry this week, I kept looking at different things that would pop up, and those were the ones that kind of gathered my interest most. Okay, so now what do I want to talk about first? Because I grabbed some yarn and I wanted to show you this. Now I'm going to unzip, okay, I will try to edit that out. So I grabbed this yarn. I grabbed this yarn specifically to make the 3-season pullover by Woolen Pine. Now, this is Cantata by Cascade Yarns. This is 70% cotton and 30% superwash merino wool. Now, I love this color. And that is what the band looks like. But do you see how heathered it is? And I don't know if it's picking up on camera or not, but it definitely has a halo. Now, the reason that this is wound up is because I really want to get started on this. I have a lot I really want to get started, don't I? Okay, so like I said, the 3-season pullover, and I have just enough of them in this plastic bag to kind of keep at the side for when I'm ready to start it. But this was, I can't remember how much this was, but it was not as expensive as some of the other yarn that I've got. I would call this like a medium, probably a medium priced yarn. And I definitely don't regret buying it. It's super soft and the color makes me so happy. The color was something that when I saw it, I knew I wanted this particular color. So as you can tell, it's pink and I love pink. So my only worry with this is that once I knit it up, my daughter's going to want it. It's almost like a tube. Is this chainette yarn? If you guys have used this before, would you consider it like a chainette tube? I can't tell. It feels like a tube, but it looks more like it's spun together. I just can't tell if there's a yarn running down the middle of it. I don't think so. The heathered look is really pretty. So that is what I'm planning on doing with that one. Hopefully sometime this summer it should be knit up. But don't hold me to that because that probably won't go very well. Okay, we're going to talk about this one now. Do you guys remember last week when I mentioned when I was getting close to being done with the Cowltopus, I had said that I was done with the Cowltopus pattern for now, but my daughter had asked for a balaclava, and she didn't ask for a balaclava exactly. She asked for, how did she put it? One of the hats that cover everything except your eyes. So I was showing her patterns and I ran across this balaclava, and it's in brioche. So I want to make her that. And I had said that I wanted to use rainbow yarn and cream yarn. Uh-oh. I'm going to be quiet because I'm going to have to kind of post-edit this crinkling out. So give me a sec. Okay. So this is 100% superwash merino. It is a 100 gram hank, 200 meters or 208 yards, and the color is Celebrate. It says it's custom milled in Italy, dyed in the USA, and this is from Yarn Snob. And then this is going to go with it. So, and these are going to go together in brioche. So 2-color brioche. And this is the same base. So I have not wound these because I have no clue when I'm going to get to it, but it has to be before next winter. Okay, I'm gonna be quiet again so I can put it back. I'm going to show you guys this. They sent little sticky notes. It has little sheep and an alpaca. Oh. That's actually really cute and useful. Like, really, I'm going to keep that out. Okay. Okay, so I said that I would show you guys some different price point yarns. The last yarn that I showed you was more of a hand-dyed yarn. And now I am going to show you some yarn that I got from Hobbii, and then one that I got from Jimmy Bean's Wool, and I can't remember what I ended up getting, how I ended up getting this. I think when I ordered, I had a coupon to try this for free. So this is their yarn that they just started making, and it is Beanstalk. So it's worsted, it's 100% anti-pilling acrylic, and it is 203 yards. I'm gonna try to use this in the knitting machine. The hat machine, I didn't even think about that. This is worsted, I can do that. Actually, let's talk about it because I'm not sure it'll work very well. So if you guys can tell, this yarn is their Beanstalk yarn, and it is coming out of the holder. It is very slippery, which isn't a bad thing. It's just a kind of like a descriptive attribute. I mean, it's just what it is, right? So it's more of like a slippery yarn, like rayon or bamboo, things like that, which might make it a little bit difficult to weave in the ends to have them stay in. Now, like I said, this is 100% acrylic, machine wash warm, tumble dry normal. That's useful. So yeah, this will definitely make a knitting machine hat. And I will report back and let you guys know how it works out, because I'm interested. It would be, I love to make the hats out of yarn that can be thrown, like the knitting machine hats out of yarn that can be thrown in the washer and dryer. So, and this definitely fits the bill. I do like the color. Like I said, this came because I had a coupon. I believe it was the week or close to when they had released it, and they sent a coupon. If you did an order, you put the coupon in, you could get a skein of yarn for free. So that is how I ended up with it, and I am going to keep it out to kind of knit it up in the knitting machine to make a hat and see how the hat comes out. Now, the next yarn I am going to show you, I specifically bought for 2 sweaters. Now, I think it wasn't, when was it? I think it was last Black Friday. So every Black Friday, Hobbii does a big sale with their yarns, and I had really liked this yarn whenever I saw it on their Hobbii, like they have live shopping events, and sometimes they'll do Hobbii, well, not sometimes, they do Hobbii bingo on Mondays, and sometimes I'll open up the app and listen to it while I'm working. It's just like background noise. So this is the yarn that I have, and it is called Fluffy Day. It is 100% premium brushed acrylic, and it comes in 100 gram put-ups, 285 meters or 311 yards. So this is a medium weight yarn as well, but the reason it's not going in the hat machine is because I actually got enough to make sweaters out of this. So this is the first color. And this yarn is super soft. By the way, if this is something that matters to you, it's Oeko-Tex Standard 100. So it says the color is 15, also known as pink. I don't know if it's called pink on the website, but that's what it's called in Mandy's head. This is the second color that I got. And the reason I got this color is because I've been looking for like a mustard color sweater that I wanted, and I thought that this might fit the bill. And my plan is to knit up a basic sweater with this one. Now, there's a pattern, I believe it's called Calliope. I think that's what it is. If I'm saying that wrong, please don't laugh at me, but I'm pretty sure that's what the pattern is called. And for this one, I want to knit up like just a basic flax or something like that. And the reason is because if I don't like this sweater color on me after I'm done with it, my son will wear it. He would love the way that this yarn feels. And he's not as picky about colors as I am. So like I said, it's 100% acrylic. And when I got it on a Black Friday sale, it wasn't very expensive. I'm trying to look for washing instructions. So 30 degrees, no iron. Oh no, I am no good at these. I know the one means no iron, but those are the washing instructions. I am going to assume You cannot throw this in the dryer. You are not going to want to wash this in the washer either. You're probably going to want to hand wash this and lay flat to dry because it's brushed acrylic, and I feel like if I put this in the washer and then put this in the dryer, it's either going to glump all together or like, I don't think it would be a good idea. And generally, when it doesn't seem like a good idea, it probably isn't one. I love this. It feels so soft. It says designed in Denmark and made in Turkey. So I definitely don't regret buying either one of these. Ooh, they look cute together. If I have any extra, these would make like a really cute hat. Both of the colors, like striped or something. They would even make really cute striped sweaters. If I striped the sweaters, I could make one for my daughter and one for me. Easily. A thought for another time. Okay, I have one more package to show you guys, and then I'm done, I promise. So I'm zipping open the container, and I am going to preface this by saying this might be a yarn that you guys have seen before. This is not a yarn I have much experience with, but I have a specific pattern in mind for this. And this is on my Make 30. And the reason I ran across this pattern is because I went to the Jimmy Beans virtual knitting retreat, and I'm trying to think of the right word. Someone from Rowan was there and talked about all sorts of things involving Rowan. Like they talked about their yarn, they showed different patterns, and one of the patterns that they showed, I fell in love with. So I immediately went out and bought the yarn for that pattern because I really want to make that pattern. Now it is an all over colorwork sweater, and I believe that the pictures for the pattern, I matched all of the colors perfectly, but I swapped out the one accent color. I think on the pattern sample it's blue, but I'm putting up pictures because A, I don't remember what the pattern name is, and B, I want to show you guys the pattern that I'm talking about. But I swapped out the one accent color, and so here's the light gray, and this is Rowan felted tweed. Now I've never used this before, and it says a felted effect yarn made with merino wool and alpaca. So it's 50 grams, and this is 100 color 177. So it says 50% wool, 25% alpaca, and 25% viscose. Okay, so I've never used this yarn before, but I've always wanted to. I've just never really had the opportunity to. And I really like the felted bits. Now that is like the light gray color, and the tweed on that is bluish. So now I have this color too, which is a darker gray. And it is the same base, and it says 159. Now the accent color is the one that I swapped out. And of course I swapped it out with a pink. Why wouldn't I swap it out with a pink? And this color is 200. Now, I love the way this yarn feels. It's very squishy. So let me see here. It says 50% wool. So it's 191 yards. And it's going to work great for color work because it's not superwash and it feels nice and grabby. Not in a bad way, but if I needed to weave in ends for this yarn, I wouldn't worry as much as. But these are the 3 colors together. There are actually more colors in here. I'm wondering if I can get them all in the same hand. There we go. So the last color is this light gray, and it is 191, and I think that's it. It's hard to tell with the 4 yarns in my hands, but yeah. Those are gonna go together great. And this is a colorwork sweater, and I believe it's knit flat. Or at least I think it was whenever I looked at it. So, okay, I'm closing it. But yeah, that is coming eventually. Do you see what I mean when I say that I'm going to need till like I'm 852 to knit all of my yarn? Yeah. But you know what? I do knit, and I love to knit, and I love my yarn, and I love to knit my yarn, and I love to crochet my yarn. And the only thing that I regret about my yarn really is that I don't have enough time. Do you guys feel the same way? I do. Okay, with all of that said, that's all that I wanted to show you guys this week. I hope that you're kind of enjoying going through some of my yarn that I've bought in the last couple of years and kind of talking about it. I find it so much fun to look at different yarns and get ideas for different patterns and get ideas to knit different things or crochet different things. And that crochet top with the flutter sleeves, I don't know what I'd use for that. I don't. I do have some linen, and I keep thinking about what I want to use that linen for. I will eventually grab out the linen to show you guys because it's already caked up, and I really want to get something started with the linen before summer's over, because let's face it, Christmas was like 2 days ago and it's already summer, so it'll be over before we know it. Okay, that was all of the knitting and crochet. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I don't have much to talk about for life except this next week, like school's wrapping up and all sorts of things are going on, so it's gonna be a hectic one. I did get Stephen King's newest book, Never Flinch, and I've got like 30 minutes left of it, and it's really good. It's not a horror book in that it's scary. It's more of like a private investigation novel. So like I said, if you like things like that, the Holly books in general, or like the Mr. Mercedes or the Outsider books are good ones to kind of get into. Okay, I'm gonna go, guys. I've talked long enough. I hope that you have a great week, and I hope that you have lots of knitting and get lots of knitting done. If you could, please give this video a thumbs up or hit the subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Bye.